"Hurry and get yourself ready for church," my mom said as she slammed my bedroom door. "Okay, Mom," I sighed and tried to get out of bed. My family was fiercely religious, and we'd go to church every single Sunday. My mom, dad, and 3 sisters all had to hurry so that they could be on time. We didn't even get to finish breakfast. That day, I really tried to keep my eyes open in church, but the sermon was really boring. I was thinking about what I'd eat for lunch and where I'd hang out with my friends after. I felt like I had been sitting there for hours. Close to the end of the service, my pastor asked if those who were visiting for the first time could introduce themselves. That was when I saw her, Linda. She stood up with her dad, who explained that they had just moved from another state. She didn't see me though, and I wondered how I'd get to talk to her and if I'd ever have the courage to. I just kept staring at her, hoping we'd make eye contact. I didn't get to see her again until the church's concert 2 weeks later. My parents would never let me go to regular concerts, so I was stuck going to church activities all the time. I sat down staring into space when she came and sat next to me. "Hi," she said. I looked up and was shocked. "Hey, Linda, it's nice to finally meet you," I mumbled. "How did you know my name?" she asked. "I was there when you introduced yourself last week. Anyway, I'm Charles," I replied. We continued speaking for the rest of the night. After the concert, she let me walk her home. We exchanged numbers, and from there, it all went uphill. We'd go to weekly church activities just to be together. I got to know her better. She seemed kind and innocent. After a few months, we decided to get into a committed relationship. The days passed by, and I really began to feel like she was the one I wanted to be with for the rest of my life. We never argued, and we had lots of fun together. Even our parents knew about each other, and despite their religious beliefs, they let us visit each other at home and go out wherever we wanted. Everything was perfect. Until I forgot about our 1-year anniversary. It was an ordinary Tuesday. Linda bumped into me in the hallway at school. She looked very sad. "What's wrong, my love?" I asked. "What's wrong? Is that all you're going to say?" she replied. "What is all of this about?" I asked. "I can't believe you forgot our anniversary. I don't think you appreciate me. I don't think you really care about me. You're just with me for the sake of it. I hate you, Charles," she screamed and walked away. Everyone stopped what they were doing and stared at me. It was so embarrassing. Wow, I thought. I had really messed up. But I also felt like she was overreacting. It's not like we were married or anything. Why were girls so serious about that type of stuff? Wasn't it enough that we were already happy together? For the next week, I tried calling her, but she refused to pick up the phone. I decided to show up at her house one afternoon. Luckily, she was the only one home. "Linda, please forgive me. You know I care about you, and you're the only one I love," I said. "I will forgive you, but you'll have to agree to do what I tell you next," she replied. "I'll do anything," I pleaded. She asked me to come up to her room. I thought we were going to make out or something, but when I got there, she just turned on her computer and stared at me emotionlessly. Then she showed me an Excel file with a bunch of names and dates. "What is this?" I said, confused. "I don't think you truly appreciate me. I've prepared this little activity so that you can understand what a perfect girlfriend I am," she replied. "What do you mean? I already believe you're the perfect girlfriend, and I appreciate you more than anyone else in the world." I was nearly crying. "No, you don't. Anyway, this is how it's going to work. You're going to go on dates with other girls. On these dates, you're going to realize that I'm better than them all. When you're finished going on all these dates, you will appreciate me more, and we can move on from there. I've already scheduled all the dates. Your first one is with Madison tomorrow," she said firmly. "Linda, this is insane. I don't want to go on dates with other girls," I said. "This is the only way I'll continue being your girlfriend," she said, and went completely silent after that. I decided that I'd do as she said because I was really afraid of losing her. My first date with Madison was a complete disaster. She was a high school senior and someone I rarely ever interacted with because I'm a sophomore. We went to a hamburger joint. I tried to be friendly and make conversation even though I didn't want to be out with her, but she didn't seem to care at all. She just kept quiet and rolled her eyes at me most of the time. The only words she said to me were, "You're taking care of the bill, right?" And then she left. On my own, I sat thinking about Linda and how I wished I was out with her instead. I guessed her plan was already working. My second date was with Kylie, a preppy cheerleader who I remembered from history class. She was gorgeous, but really dumb. We went to a park and sat on a bench eating ice cream. "Hey, I want to feed the pigeons," she said excitedly. "What's stopping you?" I asked. "Give me your ice cream cone," she said. She didn't even wait for me to finish eating. She grabbed my cone and tore it up into little pieces. She threw them at our feet and the pigeons flocked around us. Did I mention that I hate pigeons? Anyway, she went on for about half an hour after that, talking about how pigeons are really reptiles and not birds. She knew this because she saw a video on YouTube and that the textbooks and science teachers were lying to us. Mind-boggling, huh? I told her I had to leave because I could already feel my IQ dropping every minute I spent with her. I called Linda when I got home. "Honey, can we finish now? I really hate those girls you're making me go on dates with. The first was really mean and the second was extremely stupid. You've made your point," I said. "No, you still have 10 other dates. Don't call me until they're over. I've emailed your schedule for the next 2 weeks," she said and hung up. It was no use arguing with her. It was her way or the highway, so I just did what she wanted. I thought I would just pretend I was some sort of robot for the rest of the dates. I could try to condition myself to be emotionless. I'd be there, but not really there, if you know what I mean. It worked for all of the dates, too. Well, all except one, the last one. Her name was Ivy. The date planned for us was a trip to an amusement park. I guess Linda wanted to make sure my last date was fun. We met at the entrance of the park. I had never seen her until that afternoon. She had bright, lively eyes and a warm, caring smile. I could tell that she was certainly different from the others. "Hey, let's try the merry-go-round," she laughed. She had a contagious laugh. "Aren't we too big for those?" I smiled. She grabbed my hand and we went anyway. Surprisingly, I didn't feel stupid. In fact, I felt all warm and fuzzy inside. She was really adorable. The highlight of my life was in the haunted house. I was probably more scared than she was for most of the time, but close to the exit, something grabbed her leg and she jumped into my arms. I held her closely, so close that I could smell her hair. It smelled like bubblegum and I didn't want to let her go. "Don't be scared, I'm here," I said. I heard her sniffle and then she punched me lightly in the stomach and said, "I'm not scared." I suddenly remembered I had a girlfriend, and for the first time, that fact made me unhappy. When I got home, Linda called immediately. "I hope you had an interesting time, Charles. You no longer have to go on dates with other girls, and I'm ready to take you back," she said. Great," I hesitated before saying. "Is something wrong?" she said. "No, everything is perfect. I can't wait to see you again," I said. I started seeing Linda again, and we would go on our regular dates, but I was starting to feel that maybe she wasn't the right one for me. I really missed Ivy, and I thought about her all the time. At the amusement park, we exchanged numbers, but I never called her after Linda decided to take me back. One night, I decided to call her because I missed her so much. "Hey, scaredy cat," I said. "Charles, how are you? I've missed you," she replied. "Really?" I asked. "Oops, did I say that out loud?" she laughed. We agreed to meet up after school the next day. It was safe because Linda had a club meeting and she wouldn't know. We had a great time together, which caused me to miss her even more when she wasn't around. So I continued meeting her regularly. She never tried to boss me around and she did little things to show that she really cared about me. She wasn't just pretty, she had a beautiful personality. In her free time, she often volunteered to read stories to little kids at the library. I would join her sometimes because I love kids. They're so cute and interesting. Sometimes she helped out at a homeless shelter, and I really admired that she cared about people so much. I felt safe and happy when I was with her, but then I'd remember Linda and I'd feel horrible. One night, Ivy and I decided to go to watch a movie together. I thought it was safe because Linda said she had to study for a science quiz the next day. I chose a horror movie because I remembered what happened the last time Ivy got scared. We bought our snacks and went to sit at the back of the theater. The movie started, and I felt like I was the one who would need to be comforted. I was shaking in my socks. Ivy grabbed my hand and whispered, "Who's the scaredy cat now?" "Not me," I replied while putting my arm around her shoulder. She snuggled in closer to me. "You know, I really like you, Charles," she whispered again. I held her cheek softly and was about to kiss her when suddenly the person in the seat in front of us got up and threw their drink right in my face. "Hey, what the hell?" I shouted. I turned on my phone's flashlight so I could see who had done it. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was Linda. "What are you doing with her? How could you do this to me?" she screamed. She shouted and made such a big fuss that security had to come to escort the three of us outside. Ivy just stood there calmly during it all, and I finally realized what I had to do. "Linda, I don't think I can do this anymore. I thought I loved you, but I don't. Ivy is kinder, smarter, and much more beautiful than you are. Inside and out. It's over," I said. She stood there with her mouth wide open while I took Ivy's hand and kissed it. "I'm all yours now," I said, and she smiled.